Hey guys, it's Michelle. Welcome to my video. I hope you're not wanting another video about the Chanel price increase. Everyone has talked about it, so I'm a little late to the game. Yes, the small flap is now $9,600. That's $10,000 after tax. So many of their bags have increased by like 14 to 15%. And a lot of people are upset about this. Chanel, have you completely lost your mind? You are pricing out your customer. But I think there is intention to this price increase and pricing out their customers. So all these handbag increases started right around 2020 when Louis Vuitton started raising their prices like crazy. And there was this rumor on the internet that the quality was going to get better because the price was getting higher. Well, this couldn't be further from the truth. As a Vuitton associate, this is part of the reason I started my channel, to educate the consumer. As a Vuitton employee, I knew there was nothing changing about the manufacturing of the bag. So of course now everybody has caught on to that the manufacturing of the Chanel, they're actually being mass produced and the quality seems to be going down, especially compared to what people were buying in the past. So I can also see from the brand's perspective that Chanel being not as exclusive as it used to be. So these luxury houses, they want exclusivity. They want you to feel like, I want to be part of the club so badly that I will sell my kidney to get that bag. They have also imposed a limit of 2 flat bags per year. It used to be like 1 per month. So there's these limits now. And that is because people like to buy and resell these bags. So customers don't really have a fair shot. I've been a fashionista all my life, but I've hardly ever believed in paying full price on anything. And I am well aware of the bag wars about the rich ladies buying fakes. So now there's these ladies saying, I would never buy fake. And then the other side saying, I can't believe you spend so much money on a bag. Like, why would you buy that? I have a better experience than you. I'm better than you. You can't sit with me. So there are so many camps and opinions. So just here's where I stand. Spend whatever you want on a bag. There are so many more serious things to worry about. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to put anyone down if you feel one way or another, but saying you are better than another consumer because you spent more money and you had the boutique experience. But the truth is, when I worked at Vuitton, this is what I witnessed as a client advisor. Most of the consumers, and I'm not even going to say rich consumers, I'm going to say most of the consumers, 50% of the clientele, which were just clamoring to get that logo, they did not care if they put themselves into debt, because what mattered was that they felt some kind of status for having the Vuitton logo. So I've seen lately too people saying you miss out on the boutique experience if you do not pay full price for your bag. So recently someone trying to shame me on this on a video that wasn't even about bags. Listen, honey, I worked for the boutique. I worked full time. I woke up, went to Vuitton, took my lunch break, had my lunch break at Vuitton, went to sleep, started the whole cycle over again. I would dream about the customers that we'd get to encounter. It wasn't pleasant. So what experience do I need? Why do I need to be shamed? Because I simply don't want to go back and stand in that line. So if you're thinking you're getting some kind of experience, like there's a Disneyland and there's a magical unicorn that you can pet in there. But here's what happens. Let's reenact. Hi, how can I help you today?
How much is it?
$8,600.
We will give you $10.
Okay.
Oh, y'all want to know what's in the bag. So here's what we do in the bag. We fold the box. Take this tag off. Shove that bag in there. Then we put the ribbon on.
As we're coming into the store, would you like to try our perfume? Brings me to my point here of the video. There's a huge reseller market of people who overbought and realize they're not using their bag. So it is okay to buy pre-loved and not get that boutique experience. Unfortunately, the landscape of retail, even luxury, has changed. You see, people used to shop for the sake of having items that would last a lifetime and be passed down. This was the point of luxury brands such as Chanel and Vuitton. Especially for Vuitton is something I learned when I worked there. The pieces were meant to last a lifetime. But now, because of consumer demand, and it's mostly middle class demand, these bags are just being churned out to appease social media, to appease your friends and to keep up with the trends and always having something new and better. Okay, so as I said, I worked in the boutique and none of these new bags ever appealed to me. I really thought they would, but like I said, when you see it day in and day out, it just loses its appeal. But also, you know, I am very lucky to have my vintage pieces. Like this is something my mom purchased in the 80s and it was about $200. So everyone goes to Vuitton for the quality. I get it. But now the price is at $3,000 for quality when manufacturing processes have changed. See my video about the Louis Vuitton factory. I don't see much difference between a $3,000 bag and one that you would pay $300 to $400 for in the store. So I'm very, very lucky to have the bags I inherited. And if you do feel like you're lacking this from your life, okay, save up to buy a bag as long as you are in the financial position to do so. So if you're at that point of your life and you're over it, like I was saving to buy a $5,000 bag, not a $10,000 bag. You know, there are people who get bored of their bags or whatever, find they run into some financial trouble or can't really pay their credit card off. So they end up reselling it. This is the Chanel bag that I really thought was my dream bag when I worked for Vuitton. And I finally got my hands on it. This is an authentic boy bag. So I thought the boy bag was named for its structure. It has a bit of a masculine feel to it. You know, it's rectangular, it's got square corners and a very chunky chain, which is more up my alley. I know the classic flap is very, very popular right now. I personally don't like to carry something that everyone else has. Now, of course, I'm in Orange County, so every single person I see walks by me with a boy bag, and I have to wonder, is it real? Do you remember that commercial? Is it real or is it Memorex? The reason for its name, it's not because it's a little manly. It is actually named after Coco Chanel's boyfriend, Arthur Edward Boy Capel. Yes, so his nickname was Boy. I thought Boy was just a nickname that we gave our Filipino uncles, but no, this is why it's called the Boy bag. Okay, by the way, before I'm handling the bags, I got up and washed my hands of the makeup. And I didn't put any hand lotion on my bags before I touched them. So that's just another tidbit I can give you. When I did work at the boutique, they gave us gloves to handle the bags with because just the natural oils from your hand, makeup, touch, anything you touch is going to end up on your handbag, okay? Just because you paid a lot for it does not mean it's indestructible from the elements. Make sure your hands are clean. Just like if you're going to throw allegations about how moral you are, just make sure your hands are clean. So this is from the luxury reseller Luxe du Jour. They only carry the best of the best. So when you are buying pre-loved, you can trust that these are going to be, I believe, 9 out of 10 quality or above and won't have that stinky smell that sometimes you might encounter. Okay, so I have shown all kinds of bags on my channel. Whatever you decide to buy, I want you to know the difference. I literally don't care what kind of bag you buy, but when you are ready for your authentic bag and you don't want to go to the boutique or the boutique does not even have what you want, know the difference. Okay, so here is the inauthentic boy bag. But listen, if you want to rock this thing, be proud of it. But what you are not to do is try to pass this off as a real bag. I have seen people go back to the boutique. I have seen people try to sell it to consignment. This bag is in extremely good condition and it has some scratches from inside, which you can expect. Now, another thing that was just so funny to me was that when I worked at the boutique in Vuitton, people would complain about the scratches they would get from normal wear and tear, claiming that this is a Vuitton and it shouldn't do that. Just like I said, it's not made from a magical leprechaun and it's not made from magical cowhide that does not scratch. So people tend to get that way when they purchase out of their comfort zone and they expect so much from a bag. Okay, so Oh, with my bad eyes, I'm looking for, there is a serial number here in the bag. Now, feeling this one, it is a different material. This one is a lambskin, and I've got the caviar looking bag here. So here is another authentic. This is my Chanel flat, which I will be selling through Luxe du Jour. And she came with the authenticity card with a serial number that I'm gonna cover here. So your serial number will match the serial number inside of the bag. Okay, so what happened to me on Facebook once, and this will happen if you don't know. If you haven't worked in the industry, you might not know. I found this seller who was selling contemporary bags, and she did have a Chanel. It was similar to this, but it looked like it had been beat up, and she was selling it for $300. So I started to ask her, where did you get this bag? She told me it was from Bloomingdale's, and then she showed me a receipt of a Gucci bag that she bought from Bloomingdale's and a picture of the Gucci bag, and said, I bought it at the same time of this, but the receipt got destroyed. So I don't know what she was trying to do. She was trying to like prove to me that she did buy a designer bag and it's from the same place, but lost one receipt. So what happened was I took that number that she showed me on the serial card and I Googled it, and it actually came up like in this article, and it had the picture with that exact number. So I sent it back to her and I said, well, you claim you didn't know, but I think your bag is fake, just so you know. And she didn't respond. So she knew that she was trying to pass it off as a real bag, even though it wasn't like $3,000, but $300 is still a lot. So I don't agree with that. You're not supposed to be pulling the wool over people's eyes. Okay, other things you should know. Chanel has this card with a serial number. Vuitton does not. Vuitton has a date code. So the older bags will have a date code. It is not a serial number. People ask me all day, how do I find the serial number? And you cannot. Now the newer ones do not have a serial number or a date code. Okay, the date code pretty much says what year the bag was made and the factory it is from. Now the chips, they are meant to be read only by Vuitton employees. So do not ask how to read the chips. It is not meant for you. Here is another example of a replica. Now, I, as a sales associate, I can feel that this is not real Uppy leather. Does it justify a $3,000 difference? For me, it does not. But like I said, if it's important to you, it's important to you. And like I said, if somebody is trying to sell this to you as the real deal, these are things you should know. Just be so careful when you're buying from private sellers. Like with my Chanel, I have the serial and the receipt. I have that, and the number matches the inside of the bag. For whatever reason, people might lose these, but you want to buy it from an authorized seller that makes sure they are authenticating. So when you go through like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, you are taking a huge risk. Now, trying to take your bag back to the boutique, even if it's real and you bought it from consignment and you're trying to return it, you cannot do that. Now, what you can do, if it is an authentic bag and it needs to go in for repairs. Now, Vuitton is the only brand that will take in a repair because they have a service center. So the bag must be authentic. And if it looks like a really good replica, they will discover it when you send it into the service center. Okay, and yes, it has happened where people discover that their bags are inauthentic. It might be upsetting, yes, but I've also heard of like people discovering their Chanel bag given to their grandmother was fake, but they still love it just for the sentimental value of it. Listen, my mom loved her fake Louis Vuitton. She was proud of it. So who am I to take that joy away from her? Now, having looked at the bags side by side, okay, someone like me, now, even though I don't authenticate, but some of y'all worried so much about like the stitching of the never full of the authentic bag in the boutique was never perfect anyway. There is a margin of error that is allowed to go through. Like I said, in my opinion, does it justify a $3,000 difference? Just know that you're paying for branding. Now, everyone's money story is different. Hey, I'm just gonna say it, just get your priorities in order. So if it's for the sake of I spent more money than you, nobody cares. But you should know these things in case someone is trying to be dishonest. There are a lot of dishonest people. And honestly, if you're in the store overspending your money and putting yourself into debt, that is a form of inauthenticity. What's funny is I'm being totally authentic and transparent through my channel, and I still get hate for it. But I've also gotten a lot of support for it. I really love you guys. And some people you just can't satisfy whatsoever. Anyhow, you guys, if you're to this point of the video, thank you so much for joining. And don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. See you soon. Bye.